The Joe Rogan Experience.
But I think one of the things that's alarming about our politics right now is like things that were just regarded up until like 5 years ago as the kind of lunatic fringe have made their way into mainstream politics. Like Steve Bannon proudly declared himself and Breitbart as the platform of the alt-right. And then Steve Bannon was sitting down the hall from the President of the United States.
What was the alt-right in the beginning, though? See, the alt-right became something in the public eye. In the beginning, I thought the alt-right was like young Republicans that were a little different. You know,
I don't think that's what the alt-right is.
No, not now.
Yeah.
For sure. But I mean, in the beginning,
even then,
my perceptions of the alt-right in the beginning was like what I thought Milo Yiannopoulos was when he first burst onto the scene. Sort of like, a guy who's...
But the whole thing that Milo has revealed, right, is like it was an ironic posture that revealed, like, if you're joking about, fags and kikes, you're still saying the thing.
Well, but he's gay and he's Jewish, and so the idea was that he could get away with these things. Provocateur was the word I was looking for. That's essentially what he's doing. And he's using that to build social currency, right? That social currency is developing this large group of people that follow him and talk to him, and he thinks that there's some merit to his ideas, so he finds some sort of justification for having these provocative conversations in this stance where he's saying these things, and a big proponent of free speech, and all these things are happening all at the same time. That's what I thought the alt-right was initially. What I thought the alt-right was initially was people that wanted a new, younger, more current take on what a Republican is. And then it became racist. And then it became, all the things that we think of it now in terms of like public perception is what it became. Like who calls themselves alt-right now? Who even says they're alt-right? I mean, it's almost like such pejorative. Like the label has become so toxic.
But don't misunderstand the fading of the label for the power of the movement. It's just become kind of more normal Republican now. Alt-right ideas have been subsumed by the Trumpist Republican Party to some extent.
Like which ideas?
I mean, look, the idea that some Americans are less American than others, that is certainly an alt-right idea that I think is extremely dangerous. I mean, you saw it when, here's a great example. When Trump went after the Squad, okay, and remember when he said that they should go back to the totally broken, crime-infested places that they came from.
Right.
Ha, ha, ha. Those people three of them were born in America, one is a naturalized Jewish citizen. The idea there, right, as I heard it, and maybe I'm hearing something you're not, that some Americans, because of their skin color or their ideas, sort of have provisional belonging here, for me is it's more than a dog whistle.
Right.
It's something that is deeply un-American and deeply bigoted.
If he had said that about one person who had come here from somewhere else that was awful and was criticizing America, then that would have been a more valid statement. And that would be like Ilhan Omar is not from America initially.
No, Ilhan Omar, no, and I can't stand her ideas, but she's a naturalized citizen who is sworn to uphold the values of the Constitution.
Yes.
She's just as American as me or Donald Trump or you.
No, I agree. And I also agree that this idea, like, go back to where you were, that sucks, is the response to someone criticizing the way things are here is pretty ridiculous. Like, you don't have to go back to where it sucks. You're here and you're a United States citizen. You just think that this place should be better.
Yes. And you can disagree with their ideas, but that concept, right, that you're not entirely of a place,
right,
that is something that has been used against Jews forever. The idea that you're not fully Iraqi because you're Jewish, or you're not fully American because you're Jewish, or you're not fully French because you're Jewish. Like, the idea of provisional belonging is something that I'm extremely sensitive to.
So it's a toxic tribalism that's attached to the concept, the alt-right ideas.
Well, but then the alt-right ideas, like, look at who Steve Bannon has made common cause with, right? People like Nigel Farage, people like Marine Le Pen. I mean, there was a really good documentary about Steve Bannon where he's meeting with people who really are not just like normal conservatives.
Who is Marine Le Pen?
Marine Le Pen, what is her party's name in France? She is a deeply xenophobic politician in France whose father was profoundly anti-Semitic. She claims that she's not, but she's someone that, you say her name in any Jewish community. And
there she is, president of the National Front. Just that name, National Front, it sounds like Stormfront.
It's really not pretty.
Marianne Anne Perrine, a French politician and lawyer serving as a president of the National Rally political party since 2011, with a brief interruption in 2017. She's been the member of the National... It doesn't say what she does. It doesn't say. Okay. Anyway. So, back to her. And
or Jews, or...
I mean, you want to go Farage, you were talking...
I mean, just like... I don't know. I see ideas getting expressed. Like there are people that Tucker Carlson has had on his show who are like avowed white nationalists.
Like who?
Recently. Can you Google that, Jamie? There was a guy that he had on the other day. Or even these whistles, right? Of like, there's a way to criticize. Did you find it? Sorry.
There's a way to criticize.
Oh, I lost my train of thought.
Oh, no worries. There's a certain, here it goes, list of Tucker Carlson's guests who have links to white nationalism. But has he agreed with these people? Has he argued against their ideas? Roger Stone?
No.
Roger Stone's a white nationalist?
No.
He has links to white nationalism? Peter
No, I don't think this
Dabrowska?
No, there was something more recently.
Wasn't the first white nationalist Tucker Carlson has hosted? Okay. That was 2018 anyway.
I don't know. I mean, are you not alarmed by the turn that you see in the Republican Party toward sort of like, I don't know, the Trumpist cult?
Well, I think one thing that the Republican Party has done that's wise, if you want to keep a solidified team, is that they haven't come out against him. And they've supported him, and there's very little dissent. And this is a good idea if you want your team to win, right? And there was a lot of people who were kind of never Trumpers who softened their stance once they realized the power of his presidency, that he's really
they're sometimes Trumpers.
Dominant, sometimes Trumpers. Yeah. I'm alarmed. I'm alarmed by people. I'm alarmed whenever there's an outward lack of compassion. And when there's an outward disdain for the other. Because essentially this country is all the other. The whole thing, that's all we have is the other. I mean, that's the whole thing.
Well, and the whole thing that, yeah. I mean, there's just, Trump has just beyond the sort of like, he said various things that are like, he was speaking to a Jewish group and he talked about your prime minister. I mean, he said so many things that are ridiculous. Right. But the big thing that he's guilty of is he has like dismantled the guardrails that keep society decent and civil and normal. And like once you dismantle those things, like it's very easy to reverse, not very easy, but you can reverse policies. What's much harder to reverse is a culture. And he has just been gleefully making war on what I think of as very, very important cultural norms.
Like
not attacking the weakest people in our culture, like not attacking Gold Star families. I mean, he has denigrated like the most heroic and the weakest people at our culture at every possible turn.
Yeah, the Gold Star family thing was very disturbing and weird how it just kind of went away.
I mean, it didn't go. I remember that moment. Remember when people forget this, when he said about Judge Alonzo Curiel, who was born in this country, that he couldn't give a fair hearing to Trump University because he was born in Mexico? I mean, this is an American. Yes.
When was this? Years ago?
No, it was during the candidacy.
Really? Was it?
Yeah, will you just confirm?
Wow. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that was like...
Didn't he say something about loyal Jews wouldn't vote Democrat as well?
Oh, yeah, that the Jews are disloyal because they don't vote Republican because look at all the great things he's done for Israel.
Yeah, that if you're a loyal Jew to Israel, you would vote Republican.
Yeah, or that the Jews who don't vote for him are disloyal. I mean, yeah, that was a high point. But I mean, just The main, like, I feel like I haven't given you a satisfying answer about anti-Semitism itself. I think the way to think about it. Do you remember this?
It's too jarring to read. Indiana-born federal judge who President Donald Trump once said could not be impartial because he was Mexican, cleared a major obstacle standing in the way of Trump's long-promised border wall with Mexico.
Right, so I hear that and I'm like, oh, that's...
Yeah. Yeah. Crazy.
It's all feeding this idea that, like, there are some people who are more American than others, that are more belonging than others.
Yes.
And I think that idea is despicable.
Right. It reinforces his tribe, right? And that's one thing that Donald Trump has clearly done is cultivate a tribe. You know, he has a tribe. I mean, they have a hat.
Yeah. Right?
They have a slogan. And it's a weird slogan because it seems so positive. Make America great again. That seems positive. But it's not. Like if you look, people punch you if you have that hat on. It's so crazy. And we've gotten to a point in society that something that's a positive statement, like make America great again, is so polarizing that people will be violent towards you and feel like they need to. They feel like they need to like you're the enemy.